Hello everybody, my name is Ishan Kaushik and today on our video we have one of the most influential bloggers known as Chris Brogan. Good morning, sir.
Hi, how are you, Ishan?
So, how are you feeling right now?
It is a beautiful day out. I had something yummy to eat and I have a nice big glass of water, so I feel great. How about you?
I've been fine, like I've been ready for this since a long time waiting to do this.
Cool.
Yes, sir. So let's get on with it.
Sure.
So I have a few questions for you. The first question I have for you is, when and why did you start writing a blog in the first place?
I started a while ago. I started in 1998. So that is what, 22 years ago. So I started back when it was called just journaling. And the reason I started is probably it'll be harder for you to understand because there was no internet per se. There was, I mean, not really. And there was no easy way to connect with people and chat about the things that everybody was into per se. And so the only conversations you could ever have were with local people about local things. And so when I started blogging, it was because I realized I could put my ideas out on the web and talk to anybody anywhere, and that we could, talk about what was interesting to us instead of just what was local. And that's why I started.
And so, what do you used to like? Did you like put some poetries on the blog, or you were like writing essays, or what you used to write on it?
That is a really good question. And by the way, so I was such a terrible blogger, like for so many years. Like I wrote just kind of whatever I wanted. And so for a long time, I wrote short stories, and they weren't very good stories, but I thought they were. And I thought they were very creative. And so I really wanted people to come and talk about them with me. And it was before there were really blogs, so nobody paid attention for such a long time. And it was really, so again, it started in 98, but it wasn't until maybe 2005 when I started writing about business instead that people paid attention. And then they were like, oh, this is a pretty good blogger. And they acted like I just showed up that day, but it took like 8 years before someone paid attention to me. So that's how that went.
Actually, 2005 is my birth year,
Ah,
so
yes.
yes, it's like a very pretty good thing for both of us, like 2005 did. So, like, how did you increase your reach to other people? Like, how you used to get connected?
So one thing I did early, and it's a little harder to do this now. It used to be, blogging used to be the thing, but now there's so many the things. If you were a Twitch streamer, so many people do that. If you're a YouTube person, there's so many people who do that, and all the social networks. But when blogging was kind of the center of everything, I could go and ask other bloggers, hey, I wrote a guest post just for you and it works just for the people here. Can I publish this on your site? But now, Ishan, I get maybe 20 to 30 guest post requests every day, all the time. And what they really are, which is kind of gross to me, is they're really people just asking, can they insert links on my site to link to their site so that they can use all of my domain authority to promote something that they're selling. You know what I mean? So it's not even, they're not doing it because they want to help anybody in the community that I serve, and they're not helping me. They're just doing it like to be business people. And so I say, I don't even respond anymore. I don't even write, no, sorry, I won't, I don't do that sort of thing. I just delete the mail. So I think that's because years of too many marketing people who were kind of lazy. So I stopped doing it, but that's how I did it early. Was I guest posted in really good places. I don't know how to make it easier now to make a blog bigger, except the only one piece of advice I'll give you: write stuff that matters to you and stuff that you really hope to share to other people so that it's helpful to them. Because just writing to write looks like that. Do you know what I mean? Like when you have a homework assignment and you do it just to get it done, versus when you're writing about something you really love. Everybody who writes the other way is so boring, so nobody will read it, and then you'll lose your readers.
Oh, thank you, sir. So I feel now very privileged to be talking to you right now. At least you read my email and responded to us. Yeah, thank you, sir, for actually responding to us.
It's my pleasure, but I'll tell you why, because you wrote like a normal human being. You wrote like someone who was doing something that they were interested in and that they had a project that they wanted to do. And all those things matter. It's when we talk to each other like we're robots, or it's when we have sort of like an an evil plan that you think no one else knows there's an evil plan, but because I see it like 30 evil plans a day, I totally know it's the evil plan. So you're a very good and smart person, and I really wanted to be able to help in the project.
Thank you, sir. So my next question that I would be asking you is, like when you came, you were recognized in the community. What were your plans to like what were your plans with your blog then? What were you thinking to do with it?
Oh, that's a very good question too, because when we all started, there was just a sense that we were just writing to be helpful. The blog was the destination, and I was one of the very early people who accepted sponsored posts on their website, which now you don't even think about that if you go to a site. If you have whatever you're interested in, if you really like cool cars, you go to a cool car site and you see one sponsored by motor oil company or something, you don't even think about it. It's just there. But when I did it on just my personal blog, everyone was like, he's the devil, and that was the end of that. But when I started realizing that the blog could get me connected to other people that were interesting, then I started making business happen. And I started getting the attention of bigger and bigger companies who would then say to me, hey, can you come and work with us just to talk a little bit about this? And so I could charge money for that. And so the blog still really wasn't like, it wasn't just full of ads. It wasn't like, click this and buy this and try this thing. I was selling the connection. I was selling people saying, I feel like I learn a lot. And so that's how I made my money. But I never knew what the plan was. And then the blog earned me the chance to speak on stages. The blog earned me the opportunity to write my first book, which this is now the 10th anniversary of my first book. So this was because I was blogging. I was at a conference and this woman looked over and said, hey, you're a blogger? And I said, yeah. And she says, why don't you write a book? I guess so. And the first time we wrote a book, it became a big hit. And so I've never done it since. I have 8 other books and nobody liked any of them.
Not really. I'll surely buy one of your books and read it out. And yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
No, and there's in today's world, like you don't really get so many chances with the vlog now because it's not really popular anymore. That's what we see. So, what would you like to tell to other young bloggers who are trying to become like you?
Oh my gosh, Ishan, I'll tell you my real opinion of this, and I think you'll hate it. I think you'll be like, "Oh, this is the worst thing he could have said." I think you know more than me. I do, and I'm not trying to be too funny. I am trying to be a little funny, but I really mean it. I think that you know more than me because you came at this from a very different place, and you were kind of raised around these technologies. I have a son who is almost your age, so he's a little younger than you, but by months, and he helps his teachers in school how to use Zoom and things like this. He helps his teachers in school how to reformat a web page. He codes. He makes new video games out of old video game parts. And so I feel like you and the people that you'll show this to maybe know more than me. But if you allow me to tell you what I would say, the things I would say is, so blogging is fine. You must also make video, which you've come to realize, which is why we're here, right? You must also consider maybe an audio podcast or something. You must also consider, you have to put it in a few new places. So your website should exist and you should have a place that's kind of home. And I've had chrisbrogan.com for a bunch of years now, whereas before I would use any old website to write on. And so they're all lost in time, some of my sites. But you have to do other things. You have to do video. You don't have to pick any of the specific ones. You don't have to do Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. I know they're popular, but you have to have some sort of home base where people can come find the work that you've put together. And that should be your site. And your site can have video and blogs and everything all in one place so that people can find all of your ideas easily and know how to connect with you.
Oh, that's a very good thing that you just said. The point is that you have been our inspiration. That's the reason we've come up to doing all of this. So that's what we've been saying all the time.
Good.
And like when this goes online, is it something like you would like to tell to the whole community, like in these recent times of the coronavirus?
Oh, wear your masks. If there was something I would tell you that, well, let me tell a little story. I'll try to make it small because, as you notice, I talk too much, right? But
No, no.
when the first lockdown started in March here in the U.S., uh, I realized that I would not be speaking on very big stages right now. I would not be flying to see all these different people at conferences. I would not be consulting directly in the same room with customers and smart people. And I thought, wow, I really need to do something. So I made a video show and I started doing daily video so that I could at least connect with people and have the chance to talk about whatever might be interesting. And I think that the most important thing I've learned professionally during this time is that if you can connect and really kind of build some good sense of community that you serve and relationships that you can be helpful in, I think that helps everything. Because, as I lost some of my business, I also had friends who had been seeing me every day on my videos, and they'd say, "Oh, I have a project I'm working on. Would you like to come work with me? Here's some money. I would love money. Thank you." Or I have a project and it's fun and there's no money. That sounds fun too. Let's do it. Right. Talking to you is because this time is so strange and there's just, it's like you can't go play with your friends the same way. You can't, you can connect online for gaming and stuff, but there's no like hanging out after school or something. And so I do the same. So I just said a lot of words. If you had asked me the same question and said, you only get one word, I'd say connect. Because that's where, Ishan, that's where everything goes. That it's the thing we forget the easiest, right? Is that the more that we stay connected to people, the more we can all kind of make cool projects and do cool things because we have more than just us, right?
Yes, sir, sure. So, like that brings us to the end to this interview. And when this goes online, if any of like anybody seeing this video has any questions for Chris, you all can send it in the comment section. So maybe next time when we get Chris on the board, we'll ask him your questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you.